anyone who's thinking about starting a podcast, like, I thought it was going to be easy. Disclaimer, it is not easy. You get a flow and it becomes easier, but it is like definitely a labor of love and it's not for the faint of heart.
Welcome to Life is the Game, hosted by yours truly, Alexandra Nicole Stone. Get ready to uncover the secrets to mastering your destiny, becoming the main character in your life, and embracing a life filled with meaning and joy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Life is the Game. I'm your host, Alexandra Nicole Stone, and today we have a really raw main character update. As I've been on this entrepreneurial journey and just taking a break from my career and kind of having this like 1 month with severance pay and time to really like think about what I want and how to do things, and honestly just going out there, building my agency, pitching, experiencing things like underpricing myself, experiencing things like overpaying for virtual assistants and overpaying for certain services. It's been a really humbling experience. And every day is really just an emotional roller coaster. I definitely don't have everything figured out, but I'm starting to have a lot more clarity. And I'm realizing, you know, the funny part about just working for yourself or becoming an entrepreneur, and it's like the terrifying part is that there's nothing guaranteed. And you actually end up working way more than you would at a regular job, and especially if you're doing this content creation stuff, if you're doing personal branding, brand building, and you're trying to create content and you're trying to create content for Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, each channel is like such a different beast. And I've really had to be humbled by this process. I think I'm about 6 months into my podcast and I'm realizing that this is just so hard. It's hard. I'm not gonna say it's easy. And I don't have content ideas planned out all the time. I don't have a structure. I think this is my number one problem right now. I have no structure and there's no sort of routine around this because I've never had to manage myself in this way. It was so much different when I was working in a corporation. I knew exactly the like several different types of campaigns we're running. And even though the projects changed, I'm like, okay, I put in this campaign bucket, I put in my project management tool, I execute, and that was that. But now the field, the experience is so much more different than what it was before because now I'm managing myself. There's the projects are yet to be defined or determined, right? Like I have packages that I'm offering to people, but really as far as like what I'm offering for services, in addition to like what I'm doing to promote my podcast, is so different than what I was doing in the past. So it's all just been this super humbling experience. And I think I've worked hard in the past, but this is a different type of hard work where every input you get doesn't necessarily give you an output. And doing stuff like brand building is not going to give you direct ROI, not for a long time, not until you figure out how to go viral somehow or get lucky with going viral somehow, or just spend the time, right? Because it's a long game to build your brand and get recognized and be accepted. And on the other hand, on the other side of that is like you have to build the courage to, if you're building an agency, if you're running your own business, you have to build the courage to go out there and do lead generation. Like no one's gonna just want your services because you decided to give them. So there's all these series of like heavy reality checks coming my way. And last Friday, I was so grateful to spend some time with a really dear friend of mine who's a serial entrepreneur, and he used to have his own marketing agency, and he just really laid everything out for me as far as what I need to do, charging more money for stuff. I think a lot of us, when you're first starting out your business, and I can just say, at least for me, when I'm starting out my business, like I'm underpricing my services, right? Because there's the people pleaser inside of you, and then there's like, oh my gosh, I just need some money. So you're underpricing your services. And then there's this other thing that we were just talking about, because when I really think about what I want to do in this life. It's not, I don't want to do marketing. I know marketing. It's a skill. It's a high income, high earning skill, but I don't want to do marketing. What I really love doing is strategy. What I really love is talking to people, understanding their problems, helping come up with creative solutions. This is what I really like. I love talking to someone and figuring out like what is their story? Like what is the value that they have to give to another person? Like I think we all have these like really beautiful, transformative, valuable stories within us, and how do we share that, and how do you share that as an individual, and how do you share that as a brand? And these are things that I care about. Doing email marketing, doing social media marketing, that's not like what wakes me up in the morning. And so I was having this conversation with my friend, and something dawned on me where it's like he was saying, just figure out how to outsource stuff because there's only so many of me, right? And there's only one way to grow my business beyond like my own output. It's by hiring third parties, managing them, and helping the client achieve their goals. You're straddling both strategist, consultant, manager, project manager, all those things. And when you're in this position, that's how you shift from being like self-employed to being a business owner. On the other side of that is the reality and the discipline required to build your own business. So when I'm playing a game, and there's like a huge map, and I'm like in a specific area, I'm doing my main quest, and there's all these sort of side quests in the area. In the meantime, I want to level up. And every time you achieve a quest and finish a quest, it kind of increases your experience point, which enables you to level up and gain different skills and attributes and things like that. So as I'm in these worlds, lately I've been playing Assassin's Creed, so that's what comes to mind. So as we're in these worlds, right? Like I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do this task because I'm here. I'm gonna do that. Like there's an order of operations which you follow. And so the same thing has to happen when you're in the real world. There's like an order of operations to the tasks that you need to do. And there's sort of strategy. You have to build a strategy around your life, and you have to build a strategy around the goals, like the money making activities that you do, your passion activities that you do, your mental well-being activities that you do, your interpersonal activities that you do with your friends and your family. And I think this is the thing that I'm struggling with the most right now, is that first off, hang on, time out. I'm going to celebrate the small win here, is that I've been showing up and doing this podcast like on every Friday. I've been posting twice to three times a week on like Instagram or TikTok and YouTube. And I've now started posting on LinkedIn at least twice a week. So in my mind, what I would like is to be posting 5 times a week on all those different platforms, but I'm just so unorganized that I don't really have a process and a system down that I can achieve those things. But like, I'm going to stop for a moment and give myself the kudos and the credit because I have been doing that. And so that's just the beginning of the journey. Like, I had to go through this experience. Like, if this is still this now, right here, doing it twice a week and maybe not consistently, not on the same days, is still better than where I was 6 months ago. So, like, there's a lot to celebrate there. And I've already like fucked up. I've already been paying too much for different third-party services. I haven't been tracking the hours from my VAs. I haven't been doing the math. I don't know what my burn rate is. Like I'm already making so many mistakes. I've been burning through my savings right now, and having and learning the rough way. So that being said, there has been a lot of growth already. There's a discipline that's missing from my life. That's the defining sort of trait of successful entrepreneurs and just successful people in general. And it's sort of been this experience where I've been like dilly-dallying, and I'm like, okay, I've been like blessed and cursed with that things just work out for me. I say like I'm not really like working hard, I'm just flowing hard and opportunities come my way. But there's also this thing where I'm looking at my bank account and the money is like tick 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 tick, tick declining, or like, and so I'm like, okay, I have to take some action here to expedite the process. I have to take control of the situation. And I think also as somebody who left their, corporate career without a plan and without having like pipeline in place, like this isn't definitely not what I would recommend for anyone to do. I have a special like living situation that affords me this like luxury and the safety net. I'm still super stressed out because I still have payments to make, but it would have been much better if I had this business already built a little and left my job. The good thing is that I've been building my podcast and I've been ideating and I've been having mentors for years and I have an entrepreneurial foundation. I've worked at startups. So that foundation is there. It's not like I'm doing a cold jump from being a corporate employee to being a entrepreneur, but it's lukewarm at the very it's warm-ish. Lukewarm, I'd say. It's a lukewarm jump. And there's a reality check there that all of a sudden it's like I don't have to wake up at 9 o'clock. I don't have to do anything that I don't want to do. But the thing is, like, I have to start setting the schedule and holding myself accountable to my own deadlines. And what I've been doing is like setting stuff and not like following through. And it's been a little bit disappointing because I'm like, do I ask myself, do I really want this? Do I really want this enough? I do. I'm just figuring it out, and now I'm feeling this shift happening within myself. Like when I'm thinking about the main character, who I really want to be, like the agency was not my one priority. Like I want to be a public speaker. Like I'm having my fearless tigress in my mind, my avatar, public speaker, and I'm traveling the world. I'm helping other people. I'm spreading the gospel of this like life is the game. I'm interviewing gamers from around the world. I'm interviewing people from different industries, giving different insights, telling me about their stories, have my own studio. I'm making money off of ads for my podcast. I'm not there yet. So, like in between then and now, I have to figure out how to make money for myself. And like the agency is the best way to make money for myself in the meantime, other than going back to a job and, doing it the old fashioned way. So, I've had to have that reality check where it's like podcast is not going to make money right away. It's a love of labor. It involves a lot of time, energy, and honestly, it's like super backwards because to make the podcast successful when you're not already a known person, when you're kind of nobody, or I would say unknown yet, it's kind of like an uphill battle for sure because you have to start with short format content, build that audience, and there's no saying how long it'll take for you to get successful on a specific channel, whether that's LinkedIn, IG, TikTok, whatever it is. And then that will drip into your community or your newsletter, which I'm not even doing right now, and then into the podcast. So my funnel's all broken as a marketer. But I'm realizing, okay, this podcast thing is going to take time until it becomes fruitful and sustainable for me. I don't doubt that I'll get there. Like, that's a really big thing that's important to me. And it's been it's such a fulfilling thing. Like, I love meeting everybody that I on this journey and connecting with others. And I've been discovering so much about myself in this journey of building my podcast. But I need to do something that's gonna drive revenue for me and, like, put money in my pocket. So, focusing on the agency is now something that I'm gonna have to start doing quite seriously. And so this reality check has been sort of coming my way, and there's a lot of work involved with that, and there's a lot of psychological work. Like, I can do a bunch of marketing things, but there's a psychological work of, like, understanding your pricing, going and doing your numbers, which I've been totally avoiding because it's terrifying for me, but I have to do that. That's the qualities and the attributes. If I'm thinking of my avatar as like someone who's business savvy and who's entrepreneurial, like the habits and skills that that individual has is personal financing, is doing the scary things, like just looking at it, figuring out what your numbers are, figuring out what your burn rate is, figuring out like how much money you want, how many hours a week do I want to work, how much of the work am I actually working? What is my hourly rate for consulting? So now I'm starting to ask myself those uncomfortable questions. Everything is going to be hard work, and it's going to be a lot of hard work and a lot of like ugly things and a lot of rough lessons until it starts getting good and consistent and all those things. So I'm just figuring out how to balance my life. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, what are those like money making activities that I'm going to be doing? Where do I slot that into my day? And then how do I stay accountable? Wow, like this content creation thing, this like building your personal brand thing is a lot of work. creating content that works for each unique platform. This is all new. And all of these things are like full-time jobs. Like podcast is it's so much work. Anyone who's thinking about starting a podcast, like, I thought it was going to be easy. Disclaimer, it is not easy. You get a flow and it becomes easier, but it is like definitely a labor of love, and it's not for the faint of heart. Like it is tedious and time consuming. There's like a lot of coordination involved, and all of a sudden like your schedule's getting blocked out with weird times. So you just have to figure out what's like working for you. On the other hand, I'm going on vacation this week, and this was like a very leap of faith thing where I decided my mom was going to Greece and Romania. I haven't been to Romania. That's where my family's from in 10, 11 years. And I just said, screw it. If life is a game, I want to go to Europe because I got flight points and I have a month severance, and I don't know when I'll get another chance to do it. And so the what if I didn't go is I didn't want to find out. So I'm just choosing to go. I'm super excited. I'm going to take this time and I'm going to have this amazing trip. I want to go to Greece and Athens and Santorini inside of Greece, and then I want to go to Romania for a couple of weeks. So I'll get to go on vacation, reset my mind, and have like a little bit of an adventure and document that entire process. And that's really good. I think that'll be so good for me to recalibrate. And I'm really excited for that. I mean, I'm a little bit stressed out because I'm like, I won't be doing business stuff. I have all my podcast stuff arranged for the next month. But then as far as like lead generation and marketing stuff, I'll be working a little bit when I'm in Romania. But I'm a little bit like, oh my gosh, like, am I allowed to take a break? But I'm giving myself permission to do that because we need to enjoy and have fun, and that's the whole point of all of this. And then when I come back, I'm going to really look seriously at my business. I think even on the flight, it'll have so much. I think it's a 14-hour flight, right? I'll have time to sort of mill this over and think about, okay, what is my offer? What is my strategy? And that kind of becomes a game in and of itself. Like, how much money can I actually charge for my services? How much money are people willing to pay? How do I find the right team to support my endeavors? Like, this is what the new game is. How do I connect with more people on LinkedIn? How do I learn how to solicit to them? I mean, like, it's not even soliciting, but like, I'm just trying to give you, I'm trying to offer you a service. Are you interested or are you not? You never know who's going to be on the other side listening. So it's this really like transformational period for me. And it's scary. I'm taking a really big risk right now. I'm scared. I'm uncomfortable. Every time I post on LinkedIn, every time I make a social media post, I'm uncomfortable. Every time I hop on a podcast, I'm uncomfortable. Every time I ask someone if they need help with their business, I'm uncomfortable. But I have to do it. And but that's kind of what makes it exciting. And in games, we do like we do scary things or we take risks, but we don't look at it. I do have a visceral, like, stressed out reaction when I'm doing confrontational things in video games. But then it's like fun because I'm like, oh my gosh, I did it. I defeated that monster, or I made it through this like level. I assassinated everybody without getting caught. Mwahaha. I'm trying to create this mind shift. This is supposed to be fun. Like, this is your game. I designed this for me. I get to pick who I want to work with. I get to pick the kind of work that I want to do. I'm building my empire. I'm building my game. And the thing is, like, all of this work, even this agency work, will pour into my ultimate mission of like creating a chain reaction of goodness. It'll help me have capital to spread my message, to help other people. It'll help me work with other people who want to help people and help them spread their message further and further. So it's just been a really exciting time, a really scary time. But with each passing day, I'm still growing in terms of like actions and like the actions that I'm taking that are supporting this vision I have of myself and the life that I want, and the actions that are required for me to build my business. I'm still building on those actions. But even as far as like the mindset shifts that I've had in the last month, they've been extremely powerful because I'm starting to get so much clarity in the reality. and the steps that are required from me right now. And I have to put on my big girl pants and I just gotta go do it. I just gotta go do it. Because no one else is looking out for me right now but me. Like I'm responsible for all the food on the table and all my shopping addiction and all those things that I haven't even been indulging and my bougie groceries and whatever, like all these little guilty pleasures of mine. So it's been a real raw experience, and I'm realizing something else is that the building phase, like I'm in this building phase, and this building phase is going to be like within the next like 6 months to a year is going to be me building what this really is, what this business is, what this podcast is, building my audience, building my reach, building my engagement. So it's going to be a patience thing. It's going to be so much trial and error. But on the other hand, it's gonna be so mine. Like everything that I'm building is so mine. Like this is my life. And if I want to partner with someone, if I want to work in this industry, if I want to talk to people in gaming, like I'm doing it. It's so fun. And I've been meeting such cool people along the way, and I've been discovering so much about myself along the way. And this is what life is all about. And I would have never discovered this, at least for me, I wouldn't have discovered this if I was still within the safety of my corporate job. So, my dearest players, whatever it is that you're thinking about doing and wanting to do, put your ideas on paper, create an order of operations and steps. Like, what are your baby steps? Is it research? Is it action? Like, what is one small action that you can take to push you towards your goals? How do you get comfortable in the discomfort? Because I'm not going to lie to you and say it's not hard work. It's hard work. It's overcoming the cringe. It's facing your demons. It's developing self worth. It's all of that. But I promise you, whatever it is, that thing that you're thinking about, take action on it today. Who is your main character? Who is your avatar? You are the main character in your life. What does the avatar, the ideal version of you look like? And what steps do you need to take? What attributes do you need to develop in order to become that person? Because the more and more you take those steps, the closer you are to that person. Ready? Let's play.